Good day to Doctor and my fellow friends. We are from Group 16 and today we're going to present Ethics and Governance of Bursa Malaysia Banking Companies. First, I will start with introduction. Overview of assignment. Corporate governance is a process and structure that provide a framework to guide and manage business activity and practices. The pillars is ethical behavior, accountability, transparency, and sustainability. Corporate governance concerned with every stakeholder needs when conducting the business. The purpose of this assignment is to analyze governance structure and ethical principle of the Bursa Malaysia banking companies. We have analyzed the banking companies with 7 different perspectives, which is corporate culture, ethical safeguard and virtual values, whistleblowing policy, anti-bribery or anti-corruption policy, corporate social responsibility, board of director, and sustainability. Background of company. All the banks provide similar products and services. Most of the banks provide consumer banking, SME banking, commercial banking, Islamic banking, and investment banking services, as well as wealth management and insurance, trustee services, and share broking. There's a special case which is for BIMP Holdings Berhad. They focus on developing Sharia-compliant business entity with involvement in Islamic banking, takaful business, and stock broking activities. The sample of this assignment is banking company listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad. The data is from annual report and corporate governance report in 2019. I will start with the first company, which is Alliance Bank Malaysia Berhad, ABNB. The strategy of ABNB is to be the most important relationship for the financial success of business owner. Next, vision is to building alliance to improve life. The brand attribute of ABNB is innovative, fast, simple, and responsive. And the key behavior is commit to excellence, take ownership, collaborate, understand and act, and innovate and simplify. The Alliance at Heart was launched to strengthen the corporate culture. Next is the ethical safeguard and virtual value. Code of conduct and code of ethics for company director is launched for ethical safeguard. There's a frequent internal communication between the management and the board. Next, orientation, motivation training, and skills training is provided to employee to encourage virtual value among employee. And the code of conduct is monitored and reviewed regularly. For the whistleblowing, whistleblowers are anonymous and protected from work-related retaliation. They can report to external regulators also, such as Bank Negara Malaysia and the Security Commission Malaysia. ABNB also provide a whistleblowing channel to third party, which is Alliance Speak Up. Next, for the anti-bribery or anti-corruption policy, ABNB has launched anti-bribery and corruption summary of policy, also known as A, B, and C policy, and gift entertainment policy to fight fraud. The policy has stipulate the minimum behavioral standards and guiding principle for bribery and corruption risk in the daily operation. This policy applies to all directors, employees, and third parties who provide services for or on behalf of the bank. Next, we will look at the corporate social responsibility. In aspect of economy responsibility, ABNB has successfully paid tax, shareholder dividends, community investment, and employee salary. They also support the growth of SME through Alliance Bank with Smart Challenge, credit guarantee corporate scam, and one-stop halal business solution. In aspect of environmental responsibility, they launch energy management using environmentally friendly material and reducing paper use. Next, in aspect of social responsibility, ABNB encourage workforce diversify, equal employment opportunity, and the elimination of discrimination. Programs such as blood donation, keeping your kidney healthy, movie day with disabled, beach cleaning, and more is conducted to provide the employee to give back the society. We look at the 6th point, which is the board of director. The board of director of ABNB consists of 10 members. More than half of the board members are independent directors. None of the ABNB independent non-executive director has served beyond the 9-year cumulative term limit. These three is in line with MCCG, the Code of Governance, and BNM policy. Next, However, a woman director served by Susan Yuan Sumi was appointed on the board, but it does not achieve the target of at least 30% women directors on the board set by the NCCG and MMLR. Next, we look into the sustainability of ABNB. ABNB prioritizes economic, environmental, and social for long-term business sustainability. Shareholders are increasingly demanding a greater say in the conduct of companies they invest in nowadays. So, next, the role of government regulation is to protect stakeholder rights and create a healthy, fair, and competitive business environment. Third, ABNB must meet customer expectation in terms of quality and value of the product and services to gain long-term profitability. And the fourth, the key areas of focus of community is education and community building initiative. Therefore, ABNB sustainability initiatives are centered on creating greater value for bank stakeholders.
Hi, my name is Ainani Imanina, 267844. So today I would like to present about Affinbank. Okay, first, corporate culture. Affinbank corporate culture vision is a primer partner for financial growth and innovative service. For mission, to provide innovative financial solution and service to target customer in order to generate profit and create value for our shareholder and other stakeholders. And the second one is ethical safeguard and virtual value to ensure that employees regularly adhere to a high level of professionalism and ethics in the conduct of business and professional activity in order to represent the legitimate interests of investor and customer of the bank with the high standard of professional and ethical conduct. And the board and senior management are responsible for upholding high standard of ethics and honesty and develop a culture within the company that stress and show the importance of internal control. And the third one is whistleblowing policy. Affinbank Berhad is committed to creating a culture with the highest possible level of transparency, honesty as a commitment to improving quality and ensuring the bank high standard of governance. The Affinbank whistleblowing policy is intended to encourage whistleblowing in a constructive way, offering a way to increase complaint about unethical action and to deal appropriately with such a concern. And next one, anti-bribery and anti-corruption policy. Affinbank community takes a zero tolerance stance against all types of corruption and bribery, regardless of the sum involved, and take a firm stand against such an action at every level of company. An anti-bribery management structure designed to enforce policy and procedure aimed at preventing corrupt activity from arising in all phases of the business, and to prevent circumstances of real and possible conflict of interest. The bank imposed a high level of care and due diligence on employees. And the next one is CSR. So Affinbank commit to investing in the community and world in which we live, such as the program is Giving is Living Charity Run 2017. Charity run, we organize charity run to raise fund to benefit Wing Malacca for development disability. And the next one is partner with the Picha project, research and coordinate food distribute campaign to support 300 members of the homeless community living around. And the next one is board of director policy. The board has assigned to Unit Award to other board committee working under authorized term of reference to assist the board in discharge in duty in carrying out in function. The board of directors of Affinbank Berhad support the principle of good governance and the board as well management of Limited. And the last one for Affinbank is sustainability. Effective communication is also an integral part of the larger group of stakeholder recognition of our effort and value development on the company, CCT, made to improve appreciation and stability appreciation. And recognize that the continued progress of the company is influenced by active relationship with our stakeholder.
Next, I'm going to talk about the governance structure and ethical principle of Public Bank Berhad. The corporate mission of Public Bank Berhad is to maintain its position as the most efficient, profitable, and respected first-class financial institution in Malaysia. The corporate philosophy of Public Bank is to care for its customers, shareholders, employees, and the community it serves. For ethical safeguard and virtual value, Public Bank Code of Ethics provide guidance on all aspects of the employee code of conduct and personal responsibility. Public Bank also holds strict screening process during the hiring practice that check the candidate's background and suitability for the position. Next, Public Bank also conduct whistleblowing policy and procedures. Whistleblower can click on the PB alert link or send an email to report any unethical behavior or specific issue. Public Bank ensure anonymous within a reasonable range to conduct investigation. The whistleblower are protected from discrimination, retaliation, or harassment comply of internal policies. Next, Public Bank adopt a zero tolerance approach for any form of bribery or corruption through bank's anti-bribery and anti-corruption policy. All the members of the bank are prohibited from offering or accepting any gift, entertainment, hospitality, and non-business travel. Public Bank reserves the right to terminate any relationship with third party for any breaches of the policy. Besides, employees also will be subjected to disciplinary action. All of the employees of Public Bank are compulsory to complete anti-bribery and corruption e-learning module. For corporate social responsibility, Public Bank has participated in a total of 19 CSR activities to promote community well-being and national economic growth. In aspect of economy responsibility, Public Bank have conducted loan moratorium, carnival kewangan, and community engagement program. In aspect of ethical responsibility, Public Bank have paid RM 1.26 billion tax in 2019. Public Bank also won the Best Taxpayer Award 2018 in 2019. And the third one, for philanthropy responsibility, Public Bank have made donation to Mercy Malaysia, National Cancer Society Malaysia, Cambodian Red Cross, School Adoption Program, and more. Now we look at the board of directors. Public Bank has 9 members on the board. 6 members of the boards are independent director, which is 66.7%. 3 out of 9 members, which is 33.3% of the board of directors are women. These are in line with the Malaysia on Code of Governance and BNM policy. Besides, the business background of director of Public Bank is diverse, such as banking and finance-related industry, accounting, legal affairs, and information technology. Now we come to the last perspective, which is sustainability. There are 5 main sustainability themes for Public Bank, which is responsible business, conduct and compliance, developing employees, corporate citizen, and managing environmental impact. High customer satisfaction and loyalty are essential for banks to generate more profit for the business. Second, strong government regulation and ethical conduct can maintain the financial stability and stakeholder trust towards the bank. Third, employee. Employee is the main driving force in shaping a strong corporate culture that promotes long-term value and success of a business. Fourth, a sustainable community is essential for banks to achieve long-term success because the banking industry needs to earn recognition and trust from the community. Public Bank has been recognized for its achievement by external organizations such as FTSE for Good Bursa Malaysia.
RHB Bank Berhad. Corporate culture, the vision of RHB is enriching and empowering the community. The mission is to implement initiatives to enrich and develop the capacity of vulnerable people and members of disadvantaged groups, transcending race, nation, religion, and gender gap. The goal of creation of RHB Foundation is to commit and extend the corporate responsibility initiative of RHB to help underserved and disadvantaged people, serving children and young in the city. Ethical safeguard and visual value. The point based on the RHB Bank community to state the group action to code principle arise from transaction with any market action or corporation causing of enabling its personnel, official or agent to conduct financial misconduct or procuration crime. Professional, RHB is committed to ensuring a higher degree of competence, capacity, and reliability. Respect, RHB are humble and fostered by art and experience. We display compassion for others. Integrity, RHB is trustworthy, ethical, and we stick to high management expectations. Dynamic, RHB is constructive, forward-looking, and sensitive. Excellent, RHB will continue to attain the high performance level and reliable facility. Corporate social responsibility. Level of philanthropic responsibility have achieved by RHB. The primary focus is to nurture children and young people by supplying service and tools. The RHB Touch It initially raised over 1.26 million in cash and in kind between 2016 and 2018, which devised project to support more than 20,000 members of poor and disadvantaged groups. For a writer, there are 8 directors on the board, with 4 independent directors. This is 9 which Bank Negara Malaysia current regulatory requirement that at least half of the board members must be independent directors. A dedicated enterprise risk and compliance officer have been appointed by each business department, operating department, and division to estimate and ensure compliance with all law and internal requirements in order to attain a high standard. Violation foreign policy. The scope of policy includes any act of wrong, illegal, civil, or criminal offence, any dishonor, corruption, any unjustified or unsecured growth for personal economic advantage, any conduct that violates the employee earning and conduct code and the group business and operation law, regulation, and rule, and any misconduct relating to private information and material and public information, market manipulation, creative form, forgery, misappropriation of funds and property, such as unethical or illegal activity. Anti-bribery. The policy has zero tolerance for bribery and corruption. Employees must disclose official outlets accepted by the group, report any demand for illegal reward. The group and employee are regulated by the law or their respective jurisdiction, including the Malaysian Operation MACC Act 2009. The penalty has any staff who bears the procedure, including firing, will be subject to serious disciplinary action. Sustainability. Pillar 1. Sustainable and responsible financial has the financial instruction to use ESG aspect in corporate policy, advisory, and investment decision. Pillar 2. Empowering standard conduct, encouraging sustainable practice, and consensual attitudinal policy and priority for all company workers, current instrument and procedure, and ingesting responsible principle. Pillar 3. Enriching and empowering society, and that is through the RHB Foundation Group Engagement Strategy. My name is BIMB Holding Corporate Culture. The vision and mission has synthetic of our action, strategy, and upgrade output ability amid the economy difficult will ensure that we continue to work for the implementation of all the initiatives amid the strengthening the Islamic financial sector. Establish the value as a basis and separate us from others bank. Ethical safeguard and visual value. The Islamic teaching of the ethical characteristics are reflected in the community by representing a workplace with strong corporate and moral value, and workers are expected to do the right thing at all times to complete with the idea of excellence and dignity. Develop guidance of human resources that represent the purpose-driven strategy, devise an overarching goal agenda based on the current objective and goal for all employees. Develop a key performance measure KPI scorecard system rooted in mutual value. Corporate social responsibility. Ethical responsibility has been achieved by BNN. Allocate 100,000 to intend to help affected community and underserved individuals who are severely troubled by the pandemic of influenza. For a writer, the minimum members is 5 and the maximum is 11. Cannot be more than 1 executive director unless approved by BNN. The number independent directors must be on the board. The board writers have the right to access the company complete record, property, and personal independent, professional advice and expertise necessary for the performance of duty, and the company secretary advise a service during the performance of its tasks. Virus borrowing policy. There is an existing mechanism to notify those accused of violating system and control or circulating them. Poll workers are given the right to complain where the virus borrowing process will be promised that the report will be conducted confidentially, that the identity of the writer will be covered. Anti-bribery, witchberry and corruption. Banks have zero tolerance. Banks do not existing or implicit by third-party tolerance, very feedback of corruption by conducting business honestly and trustworthiness and adhering to the common value of acting with integrity of the bank. All employee, business partners, and people who are out shall retain the reputation of the bank. Sustainability. Assessment of society, especially right and underserved population, have been named by equitable development to invest in BIMB financial activity and enterprise. Talent management is an investment in staff, helping them to develop and become a significant contributor to BIMB organization and society. Trustful, trustful, trustworthy, and trustworthy judgment and behavior, handling and monitoring behavior enforcement principle. CIMB Holding Berhad Corporate Culture. The vision of the CIMB is to be the leading Asian company. The mission is to provide universal banking service as a higher performance in Asian and integrate company located in the Asian and key market beyond. The company value enabling people, customer care, integrity, strength in the diversifying and high performance, ethical, safeguard, and visual value. The core of conduct of business ending and employee category special that any sort of value, including the restriction and giving of personal gift, is not acceptable. Employee may not, among other things, receive gift from director, vendor, supplier, consultant, consumer, and other third party who may affect or are considered to be capable of affecting any decision-making mechanism within the company. Corporate social responsibility achieved by corporation is top 3 Indonesian public listed company which in Asian Corporate Governance Scorecard 2020 top 10 most helpful bank in Asian practices during COVID-19 winner developing diversified category and so on. To improve environmental, social and governance, outcome integrate environmental and social concern into funding provision. This young education sustainability strategy CIMB will include loan interest rebate to give back to society. Board of Directors assigned to board committee some governance functions, especially to support the board in fulfillment of duty. The authority to review and determine such a key and organization issue, but the overall responsibility rests the whole board of directors for making the final decision on such matter. Determine independence of the each director which paragraph 1.01 and practice not 13 in listing by the MCC G 2012 virus scoring policy. CIMB require their workers to be cautioned against any wrongdoing, malfeasance, or animal perils in the workforce in order to make the group profitable company. All workers should report this condition to management so they can fix or take any appropriate step to mitigate any financial or reputation damage immediately. Anti-bribery CIMB recommendation to resolve and manage the consequences of bribery and corruption. The group and virus business division will retain financial report and develop effective internal control mechanism. To ensure that its targets are accomplished, CIMB must perform a comprehensive evaluation and monitoring process to ensure the efficiency and enforcement with anti-bribery and misconduct plan and regulation. Internal management mechanism and process will be periodically checked. Sustainability. The group commitment to sustainable development is motivated by 5 core concerns, one of which potentially principle which suggest that vigilance should be practiced and element should be made to assist, implement, and advocate constructive steps to mitigate and avoid environmental harm in the long run and foster social justice.
Okay, next for Hong Leong Bank. Okay, for Hong Leong Bank corporate culture, vision is highly digital and innovative financial service company. Mission: to help clients success through simple, relevant, personal and fair banking to provide our people with the best opportunity to realize their potential. And the second one is ethical, safeguard and virtual value. To ensure and improve atmosphere of good behavior at Hon Leong Bank, we have implemented different policy, process and system in order to ensure the adherence of employee to the code of conduct and ethics during their boarding program. New employees are given sensitive training on their content. Third one is whistleblowing policy. All staff, business partner and client to raise any question about unethical behavior at the earliest opportunity to safeguard integrity of the operation of the bank. Offer a formal channel for all Hon Leong Bank group staff and any other individual providing service to having a business relationship with the HLB group to raise any complaint about any inappropriate behavior, wrongdoing or misconduct committed. And the fourth one is anti-bribery, anti-corruption policy. LHB is completely committed to the implementation and compliance of practice and SIM that eliminate corruption and bribery at all levels of LHCB. Need to comply with the anti-corruption and bribery laws applicable to business operation, and this is accomplished by the introduction of strong policy, procedure, training, and the establishment of control mechanism and balance to avoid unethical activity from occurring within the HLB. And next one is CSR. Okay, Hon Leong Bank Jumpstart is our CSR network that provides social enterprise with the specific resources they need to remain competitive and continue to make an impact with a stable number of professionals and collaborators who are expert in areas such as finance, branding, and advertising. And launch the Demi Kita campaign in partnership with Suri that upcycle denim and provide single and underprivileged mother with financial opportunity and living skill. And next one is Board of Director. The 8 director consists of 7 non-executive directors, 5 of whom are independent directors. In annual report, the profile of the member of the board are set out in deciding the board composition. The bank is directed by BNM, CG policy and the main market listing requirement. For the purpose of independence, the board accepts the provision of the FCCG which specifies that the term of the office of independent director may not exceed a total duration of 9 years. And the last one of Hon Leong Bank is sustainability. HLB recognize and handle economic, environment and social risk and opportunity as part of our business activity. Our standalone sustainability study gives a more detailed summary of the progress we have made in incorporating sustainability into our corporate process, good and service. Okay, next, Hon Leong Financial Group. Okay, for Hon Leong Financial Group corporate culture, the vision and mission statement of the group form the basis of medium-term business plan and budget. Main strategy for Hon Leong Bank Group is main strategy for achieving this business plan and budget. And the second one is ethical, safeguard and virtual value. During the onboarding program, new employees are given sensitivity training on their content. And the board follow the code of ethics set up by the Company Commission of Nation for Company Direct as set by the board and published on the company website. And the third one is whistleblowing policy. The contracting party shall not give or receive an offer to graft or bribe for their own gain or for any other individual with a view to influencing their conduct in relationship to affairs of the company. Unethical conduct happening in affecting LHFG group company shall be provided by the respective whistleblowing network, in particular HLFG. And the fourth one is anti-bribery, anti-corruption policy. Parties must comply with local anti-bribery and corruption legislation and regulation at all times. In Malaysia, the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009 is the primary legislation. Any individual found guilty of bribery or corruption can be subject to several penalties, including heavy fines and imprisonment. And the fifth one says Hon Leong Financial Group is committed to compliance with the rules, respecting tradition and making a positive effect on the life of people in the community where they conduct business as an organisation, as individual. And Hon Leong Financial Group C CSR beyond its core mission by contributing significantly to the nation's socio-economic growth. And for Board of Directors, the board play an important role along with our management team in overseeing the execution of the bank's strict standard of policy, responsibility, business behaviour. The board accepts the provision of the MCCG, which specifies that the term of office of independent director may not exceed a total duration of 9 years, and that at the end of 9 years, the independent director can continue to serve on the board subject to reappointment as an independent director by the director. And the last one for sustainability for Hon Leong Financial Group. Board is actively searching for ways to further improve the quality of corporate governance and follow international best practice to enhance them. Must respect our people and give all workers the resources they need to develop their career and achieve their objective in order to be successful business. Thank you.
Okay, next is about mBank. The value for this bank is P2ACE, which means P is principles, another P is proactive, and A for appreciate, and C for continue, and the last is evolving. The vision is build trust-based and lasting relationship with the customer and can only do so through personalized service and innovative products that really answer the customer needs. Mission is to enrich a position for a premier financial service group providing innovative product and service to the customer. If there is any negligence of the principle, they will be followed up through this disciplinary policy and be proceeded in sequel management. This is for the ethical safeguards and virtue value. This applies to all employees and enlightened of the letter and principles of ethics. They also must be enlightened and fulfill with both letter and values of all appropriate laws, regulators, and foster accountability. They also eradicate unjust deed and priority to be polite to the other, cross-examined when faced with the ethical issue, and encourage transparency. Where there is, if there is any issue among the management team, they must be applying the transparency where then they honest to each other and have no secret behind the the top level manager. Next is about the corporate social responsibility. They carries out various long-term corporation social responsible that benefit the marketplace, the community and environment as well as the group on employee well-being. They also control the group leadership and encourage the development of the banking and financial services market through sponsoring conference and seminars correlated in the industry, which means is there any other bank that needs the support, they will help or give financial support or other means. Benefits its own employees, where they also have held many sports and outdoor activity for employees to participate, as well as the building greater synergy across the group. Where you can see the picture is about the first picture is about the CSR they have been held, and the bottom one is sport running day they have held for the employees to participate. Board of Director. The bank is led by a chairman and followed by the board of director, where two of the board director is non-independent director and as a senior independent, last but not least, 4 independent directors. The board is also guided by the board charter, which is responsible for setting out the principles and guidelines to be applied by board. All these guidelines also guided by the respective terms of reference, which also called TOR. Next is whistleblowing policy. mBank Group has enclosed whistleblowing policy. mBank Group has enclosed a whistleblower protection policy to advocate top standard of ethical conduct. mBank provides an open communication to ensure protection to the whistleblowers. The objective of this policy is to achieve security of mBank Group's reputation. They also protect whistleblower confidential to avoid any detrimental action, where they facilitate timely increase of the improper activity in the professional way. mBank also makes sure to investigate and manage disclosure of the improper conduct through establish appropriate processes to ensure consistent and timely response. For anti-bribery policy, the mBank Group complies anti-bribery and corrupt practices policy, which called ABCP. The guidelines is to adapt with the requirement and obligation imposed under Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009, which called MACC, and guidelines on adequate procedures issued pursuant to subsection 5 of section 17A of MACC Act 2009. The principle under top stage is devotion, risk assessment, undertaken, control measure, system review, and the last is training, where they call this principle is trust. For the sustainability, group provide formal inspection of mBank Group's sustainability strategy. For instance, amending policy, strategy, or ranking or taking action. To maintain this sustainability, there are two management committees that really need to be worked out, which is the Board Risk Management Committee, and the last is the Audit and Examination Committee. Next is Maybank. The mission of Maybank is to humanize financial service by providing people with convenient access to financing, having fair terms and pricing, advising customers based on their needs, and being at the heart of the community. The vision of this company is advancing Asians' ambition with youth. And there are 5 core values that used by this company, which is Tiger, T for teamwork, I for integrity, G for growth, E for excellence and efficiency, and relationship building. Ethical safeguards and virtue value. The bank set out a clear code of ethics and conduct for its staff, where it set out the standard of good banking practice. This may apply directly or indirectly to all that engage in the business activity. The purpose of this code is to uphold the good name of Maybank Group and maintain public confidence in the Maybank Group public, maintain security and integrity of the bank system, maintain impartial and unbiased relationship between Maybank Group and customer. This ethics also appeal for professionalism of the Maybank Group staff. Sustainability. The group hand in hand with the development of the communities in which they operate Maybank with the corporate responsibility activity and initiatives that firmly based on the 4 key pillars, which is community, environment, workplace, and marketplace. This community is the most important for the bank. Formulating and implementing Maybank's charitable initiatives region-wide under the pillars of community and environment. The goal of foundation was to promote guidelines sustainable development that deliver quality of life for all through forming strategic partnerships with local stakeholders and NGOs to bring about lasting impact. Next is corporate social responsibility. There are 5 CSR that have been made by the Maybank. First, Foundation Scholarship Award, where they're funding a scholarship award for the needs and education finance for the selected group. Maybank also have a financial literacy program. And the next is Cahaya Kasih, which is the employee make some volunteerism program. Next is Maybank Global Corporate Responsibility Day, which is CR Day. There will be, for example, liver transplant center at Hospital Selayang. For the art and culture, they have their own building of Balai Seni and Numismatic Museum, where this is the first of its type in the country. And this is right in the head office at Menara Maybank, Kuala Lumpur. Board of Director. Maybank currently comprises 5 directors. There are 3 independent non-executive directors and 1 non-independent executive director. Board complies with the BNM's policy on the corporate governance concept majority and independent director. The independent director also use director independent policy, so there will be no conflict of interest among the board of directors. Okay, next is about the whistleblowing policy. All Maybank branches, local and overseas, are committed to the highest standard of ethics and integrity in its conduct of business and operations. So they have utilized a secured channel to make declaration of any import conducted by any member or representative of Maybank. Employees who whistleblow in good faith will also be protected by Maybank from any fallout, where their identity will be kept confidential and not declared publicly. Next is anti-bribery. Maybank adopts a zero-tolerance approach against all the forms of bribery and corruption in carrying out its daily operations. Maybank complies with Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009 as well as other laws and regulations in the countries where operate. Anti-bribery and corruption policy A, B, and C frameworks which include policy, procedure, and pre-approval processes, risk assessment, due diligence of the third parties and associated persons who perform services for or on behalf of the Maybank. Okay, next, for the conclusion that we have made based on this analysis, banking industry is the most regulated company in Malaysia. This is because every bank and financial institution that exists in this company must comply with bank rules, the guidelines, and the laws that have been set out for the bank. These guidelines, rules, and regulations is set out by the Bank Negara Malaysia and also advised by the Security Commission Malaysia. Bank regulation is a form of government regulation that subject bank to certain requirement, limitation, and guidelines. So this will make sure the banking industry in the safe level of financing and the safe level of integrity and policy. That's all from us. Thank you.